before and after. Hey there, and welcome back to the bedroom, where I'm still recovering from my hip surgery. Today is 7 weeks, and it's had some ups and downs. I had some Pultecs delivered today, the MEQM5 sequential set. So big thanks to Steve Jackson at Pultec and Craig at Calistro Music. The one thing I had wanted to show you today, this is not a demonstration of the Pultecs in action, but when I had built my studio back in 2019, the day I turned everything on, I was hearing this rattle from the right side. It sounded almost like speaker buzz. It was just driving me crazy where it was coming from. And I started testing notes on my guitars and basses and things, and it turned out that the B on my Fender Bass VIs was causing that disturbing buzz sound from the right side that wouldn't go away. And I realized that on the right side, for those of you familiar with my studio, is the rack where I keep my mastering Pultecs. I have a set of EQM 1S3s. And I said, wouldn't that be something if that lid was vibrating in sympathy with the B? And I didn't really feel like taking everything back out, but I did. I pulled the Pultecs out and I started tapping on the lid, and it gave this marching band snare sound. So I propped the thing up without having it in the rack and played the B, and sure enough I got the vibration. So I said, okay, how am I going to dampen this thing? And these are magnificent pieces of gear. This is a small price to pay, but anyway. So this is the new MEQM5. This is one of them, and you'll see that there's this metal lid. I'm going to drop this thing because that'll be a disaster. And I know that in my room, I am going to have a problem with the B on these. Now, some of you with better treated studios, different shaped rooms, whatever, I'm not saying that this is a problem for everybody. But for me, it happened to be a problem. And if you happen to own some sort of equipment like these Pultecs or something else that has a similar chassis, and you don't know where the noise is coming from, and you think you might have a busted speaker, check the chassis on these old style devices. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to, same operation like I did on my EQM 1S3s, take out 1, 2, 3 screws, pop the lid off, little double-sided tape along the boundary where the lid meets the chassis, and then put a thin piece of felt. And we'll screw everything back down, do the same thing on the other side, and we'll be nice and dampened. We'll have the chassis and the lid decoupled, and make sure that I'm not going to have this absolutely maddening buzzing sound in the studio after they're installed, and I'll be able to get the full enjoyment out of them and use them to make some nice mixes for everybody to enjoy. So let's take a look at that process. Well, there you have it. That's the difference just a little bit of thinking can make. Sounds just like any other rack unit. So we won't have to worry about any kind of rattling in there, if that was a problem for you in the first place. If not, feel free to ignore everything I just said and not do that extra work for no reason. So of course, do that on the top lid, the bottom lid, repeat the process on the other unit, and you should be all set to go. Hope to be back up on my feet soon and demonstrate some more things for you. But until then, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.